Kia ora. For Madeleine Armstrong Wilcox Tuku Ingoa, I'm the head of programs here at the Neurodiversity in Education Project. One of the things we do is operate MindPlus. Thank you for joining me wherever you are and whenever you are to learn a little bit about who we are at MindPlus, what we do, and how we're here to support you and what that might look like. So, let's jump in with who we are as an organisation. We are the Neurodiversity in Education Project. We have been around in various names for over 25 years, supporting kids who are differently wired. So let's look at the three things that we do. In essence, we support students directly, and that's through our specialist programs like MindPlus and clubs. We support teachers and schools, people like you, to understand their differently wired kids and support them in your classrooms and in your schools, because that is where most of our kids spend most of their time. You all do an amazing job at supporting these kids, and we can help you with that. The third thing we do is we advocate more broadly than just with teachers and schools and families. We work with the Ministry of Education, we work with other specialist organisations, we partner with organisations like ADHD New Zealand, Autism New Zealand, and the Dyslexia Foundation of New Zealand to work towards this big picture goal, which is to build a more neuro-inclusive education system, an education system that is designed to be neuro-inclusive, to include and support and celebrate all different types of brains. So support students, support teachers in schools, and look at that big picture as well. One of our student support programs that you are connecting with is MindPlus. MindPlus offers specialist support for our gifted and neurodivergent kids. They come to us for either a half day or a full day in different ways. So they might come to one of our classroom sites in Auckland or Christchurch. They might come online. Or you might operate MindPlus in your own school as a partner school, working together with us to support kids. Let's look at what we're talking about when we're talking about gifted kids. First and foremost, giftedness is a form of neurodivergence. It's a brain-based difference. There are observable differences in the brains of our gifted kids, and that's really exciting, fairly new neuroscience that confirms what psychologists and researchers and theorists have been thinking for many years about these different brains. And how are these brains different? Well, we can recognize our gifted brains by thinking about those who have high intellectual abilities. Note that we haven't said academic, because the intellectual abilities are those things that sit underneath and enable academic achievement. So it might be things like logic, reasoning, memory, creativity, intensity, the ability to see patterns and work with patterns, not just maths, but in ideas also. So those abilities enable academic achievement, but actually we see quite a lot of gifted kids who not only have high intellectual abilities, but they also have something that causes a barrier that inhibits their academic achievement. Those barriers may be things like another form of neurodivergence. It may be something social or emotional like anxiety or extra intensity. So academic achievement and giftedness don't always go hand in hand. I said intensity and sensitivity a couple of times, I think, just previously. And those are good examples of those personal qualities that we're talking about for our gifted kids. Those examples of personal qualities that come about because of that different brain wiring that our gifted kids often have big emotions, whether you see them or not. They're often deeply intense in different ways. Their senses can operate in extra ways, and they can be deeply sensitive young people. So we think about our gifted kids as those who have those intellectual abilities and that also have those particular personal qualities, whether that's formally assessed or diagnosed by an educational psychologist or the like. That doesn't really bother us that much. It's actually recognizing these kids in your classrooms that's probably more important on a day-to-day level than that formal identification. So anyway, we know, just like you do, that our gifted kids do need something different from their schooling. They do require some additional support in order to make the most of those abilities and work with those qualities rather than fighting against them, so that, like every other kid, they get the chance to achieve and they get the chance to reach their potential and thrive as young humans. Okay, what do we do at MindPlus? You are already great at teaching the ever-changing New Zealand curriculum, and we absolutely applaud you for that. So what we do at MindPlus is not what you already do at school. There would be no point to that. So we have a specialist program that we've developed over time, over the past 25 years, and it's always developing, just like the New Zealand curriculum, perhaps not as controversially, however. We teach three main things. So first of all, we teach about thinking and learning through ideas. And this is often the natural kind of zone for a gifted mind. They love working with, playing with, thinking through big ideas rather than specific subjects or topics. We take one of those big ideas at a time each year and we dive into it in real depth. And if there's one thing we know about gifted kids, it's that they genuinely enjoy deep diving. So we do that here. This year is all about change. So our big idea is change. And in this first term of the year, we are looking at, well, what do we mean by change? What are some examples? How do we sort those examples? What are some ideas that we know to be true about change? What are some questions we have? That's all we do in the first term around change. We also know, because of those particular personal qualities, that our gifted kids really thrive with some additional explicit social and emotional teaching and learning. Not just a comfortable social and emotional environment where they can thrive, but actual teaching in that zone. So we call that personal development. This term, we're doing a unit of work called Welcome to My Interesting Brain. And it's all about understanding your own brain, how it works, how it feels, how to make it feel good. What are the conditions we like around us to make our brain feel good? What are the things that really make our brain feel not okay? And how do we work with some of those factors? And how do we do that not just as an individual, but as a group? Because as humans, we're social creatures. Our brain is not just existing completely on its own. It's part of a social group, all sorts of social groups. And how do we make that work? So that's this term in personal development. And the third big thing we do with our gifted kids is absolutely strength-based, and it is called talent development, and it's about our kids thinking about what they're really good at, what they're really interested in, that may not necessarily be related to the New Zealand curriculum at all. It may be very, very niche and very unique, and helping them in different ways dive into that thing, learn more, do more, stretch themselves out. And that's called talent development. So this term, our kids are either doing passion projects, which is about saying, you know what, I really love XYZ, doing more of that within the boundaries of the MindPlus classroom. So if it's skydiving, that's probably a no. We can't be doing that in a classroom. Or it's clubs, which is our free online platform where kids can connect with like minds, across the country. The great thing about clubs is that it's free for anyone to join. So if you have other sparky, curious learners, gifted or not, in your classroom or in your school, they can join clubs as well and connect with like minds and do some learning together in their interest areas. So that's what this term is all about at MindPlus. Like I said, you've got the New Zealand curriculum under control. You do that beautifully. What we do is different because you've got everything else covered. Okay, we're here to support kids, but we're also here to support you because we know that even if one of our students in common comes to us for a day a week, they've got 4 days with you. You make an enormous impact on their learning and their lives. So we're here to support you. So let's look at the different things we can do to support you. First of all, we run a program called Building a Neuro-Inclusive School, and that is our community of educators that is free to join, free to access any of our resources and professional learning material. It's free thanks to Ministry of Education funding, which is superb, and we offer really practical resources and practical strategies for supporting your neuro-inclusive classroom, not just for supporting that one kid that we might have in common, but it's about supporting you knowing that you have a whole class of kids to work with, to manage, to learn with. So supporting you in doing that. One of the things we do as part of the Building a Neuro-Inclusive School program is a monthly online get-together where we talk through things of interest. So this term so far, we've looked at how we set up our classrooms for sensory success. We're going to look at some of the key characteristics of neurodivergent learners, and we're going to look at us as teachers, and in particular, our neurodivergent teachers. How are we thriving in a school environment, and what do we need in order to really do our jobs well? You can join for free. When you do, you get access to all of our resources and our professional learning material. They're all online for you anytime you would like. Okay, so another thing we can do to directly support you is through clubs. Now, clubs is our free program that connects kids with like minds for learning and connection online, and it's for any sparky, curious kid, gifted or no. Sometimes we have those sparky kids who just have that really special interest in the Royal Houses of Europe or dragonology or wasps or geology or whatever it is. And you're thinking as a teacher, how do I deal with that? Where do I go? Clubs has it for you. So we have 10 clubs in different interest areas where kids can access learning materials at different levels, at different kind of stages of independence or autonomy. So they can grab some learning activities and you can join with them. So you can grab those learning activities to do, and they can connect with someone else who's equally passionate about some kind of flying creature or geology or whatever it is. And they can chat merrily about those special interests. So look us up there. You can sign up for free. Our website, neurodiversity.org.nz/clubs. Okay. If you have any questions for us about MindPlus or about our students in common or about your classroom or school generally, do just get in touch with us. You can connect with your students, MindPlus teacher directly. You should have their email address. If not, it's on our website. Or you can connect with our organisation through Building a Neuro-Inclusive School, or drop me an email and we can have a chat. We love being in touch with the teachers of our students in common. So we really hope to connect with you over the year that we are sharing this wonderful wee human. Thanks so much for your time and the work that you put into supporting your students. We all know the difference we make. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day. And like I said, if you need to know anything or would like to chat, just get in touch. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.